Welcome to Zoe Stories. She caught me in her clothes. Now I'm her doll forever. My name's Arjun. I never thought I'd be the kind of guy who'd end up like this, dressed in lace and silk, makeup on my face, heels clicking on the hardwood floor. But here I am. And the strangest part? It all started with a stupid mistake. I wasn't always like this. I was your typical guy, messy hair, worn-out sneakers, a gamer at heart, working a boring office job just to pay the bills. I didn't have time for any nonsense. Especially not the kind of nonsense my girlfriend, Maya, loved to joke about. Maya was different. Outgoing, fierce, a firecracker. She always teased me about everything, but especially about fashion. "You'd look amazing in a dress," she'd say, grinning, rolling her eyes at my refusal to even try on her clothes. I'd laugh it off. I thought she was just playing. But Maya wasn't just joking. The apartment we shared was modest but cozy, cramped enough that privacy was a luxury. Our relationship was a whirlwind of laughter, fights, and passionate makeups. But beneath it all was a strange tension, a game neither of us fully understood. One day, while Maya was out, I was bored. The office had drained me that morning. Deadlines, phone calls, useless meetings. I wanted to escape. So I did the dumbest thing I could think of. I opened her closet. I told myself it was curiosity. Just a peek. I pulled out a silky blouse, soft and shimmering in the afternoon sun. I slipped it on. Then a skirt. Then the shoes, those killer heels she always laughed about. I looked in the mirror. I don't know what I expected. Shock. Disgust? Laughter? Instead, I felt strange. Light. Powerful. Vulnerable. A thrill ran through me. That's when Maya walked in. Her eyes widened. Not angry. Not shocked. Just amused. "Caught you," she said, voice low. I wanted to apologize, but the word stuck. She stepped closer. "Do you like it?" she asked, running her fingers along the blouse's fabric. I hesitated. "It feels different." She smiled, sharp and knowing. "Good. Because from now on, you're going to be my doll." The words echoed in my head long after she left the room. Doll? Me? The teasing I thought was harmless suddenly felt like a challenge. A trap. Was she serious? The next days were a blur. Maya didn't say much, but her eyes held a secret. A plan. I started to realize she wasn't just playing. She wanted to change me. And maybe somewhere deep down I wanted it too. So here I am. Arjun, or maybe Arya now. Learning to be her doll. Every day, a little more silk, a little more makeup. Every night, a little more surrender. And the worst or best part? I don't want to stop. After that first day caught in Maya's clothes, everything changed. The apartment that once felt like home started to feel like a stage, with Maya directing every move I made. Arjun's mind battles between shame and thrill. Is this humiliation or self-discovery? He's scared of being judged but secretly craves the feeling of freedom the new persona gives him. His reflection in the mirror becomes a strange mix of his true self and the doll Maya wants him to be. Maya insists on teaching him how to dress properly. From makeup tutorials to walking in heels, each moment a mixture of tenderness and control. Arjun experiments with lipstick, blush, and eyelashes. He's amazed at how much these small details change not just his look, but his confidence and vulnerability. The tension rises as Maya begins testing Arjun. She sometimes returns early from work, and he has to scramble to hide his doll self before she arrives. The risk of being caught out of place grows with each close call. Arjun's secret feels dangerously close to being exposed. Maya is both captor and guide, teasing him relentlessly but also showing a softer side. The power balance shifts subtly, leaving Arjun unsure if this is punishment, affection, or a way for Maya to connect deeper with him. Their relationship strains and bends under this new secret, creating moments of jealousy, tenderness, and confusion. Arjun is given a delicate silver necklace by Maya, something to remind him of his new role. It feels like a collar, a symbol of his transformation and submission. Occasionally, a dropped heel or smudged lipstick becomes a sign of his slipping control. Maya sits me down in front of the vanity mirror. You're not just wearing the clothes, she says, holding up a lipstick. You have to become her.
Arya.
I stare at the name written in delicate cursive on the lipstick tube.
Say it. Arya.
She waits. Arya, I whisper, feeling the unfamiliar sound. She smiles, brushing her fingers across my cheek as she applies blush.
See?
You're already becoming her. One afternoon, I'm carefully adjusting my wig when I hear the door unlocking. Panic claws at my throat. Hide. Maya's voice whispers urgently from the other room. I scramble, heart pounding, as footsteps echo closer. The hallway is just outside the bedroom door. Seconds feel like hours. Finally, the sound fades, and I breathe out. This dance of risk becomes routine. The thrill of almost being caught, the rush of relief. After that first day caught in Maya's clothes, everything changed. The apartment that once felt like home started to feel like a stage, with Maya directing every move I made. Arjun's mind battles between shame and thrill. Is this humiliation or self-discovery? He's scared of being judged but secretly craves the feeling of freedom the new persona gives him. His reflection in the mirror becomes a strange mix of his true self and the doll Maya wants him to be. Maya insists on teaching him how to dress properly. From makeup tutorials to walking in heels, each moment a mixture of tenderness and control. Arjun experiments with lipstick, blush, and eyelashes. He's amazed at how much these small details change not just his look, but his confidence and vulnerability. The tension rises as Maya begins testing Arjun. She sometimes returns early from work, and he has to scramble to hide his doll self before she arrives. The risk of being caught out of place grows with each close call. Arjun's secret feels dangerously close to being exposed. Maya is both captor and guide, teasing him relentlessly but also showing a softer side. The power balance shifts subtly, leaving Arjun unsure if this is punishment, affection, or a way for Maya to connect deeper with him. Their relationship strains and bends under this new secret, creating moments of jealousy, tenderness, and confusion. Arjun is given a delicate silver necklace by Maya, something to remind him of his new role. It feels like a collar, a symbol of his transformation and submission. Occasionally, a dropped heel or smudged lipstick becomes a sign of his slipping control. Maya sits me down in front of the vanity mirror. You're not just wearing the clothes, she says, holding up a lipstick. You have to become her.
Arya.
I stare at the name written in delicate cursive on the lipstick tube.
Say it. Arya.
She waits. Arya, I whisper, feeling the unfamiliar sound. She smiles, brushing her fingers across my cheek as she applies blush.
See?
You're already becoming her. One afternoon, I'm carefully adjusting my wig when I hear the door unlocking. Panic claws at my throat. Hide. Maya's voice whispers urgently from the other room. I scramble, heart pounding, as footsteps echo closer. The hallway is just outside the bedroom door. Seconds feel like hours. Finally, the sound fades and I breathe out. This dance of risk becomes routine. The thrill of almost being caught, the rush of relief. Days turned into weeks, and every moment spent as Arya pulled me deeper into a world I never wanted but couldn't resist. Maya's control over me tightened with every lesson, every teasing word, every flick of her wrist telling me what to wear or how to act. At work, I was the same Arjun everyone knew, confident, a bit cocky, the guy who could joke and flirt without a care. But behind closed doors, I lived another life. One where silk skirts replaced jeans, where mascara traced delicate wings on my eyelids, and where Maya's voice was law. Look at you, she'd say, circling me like a cat. You're perfect, Arya. My pretty puppet. The words stung and thrilled at the same time. I hated the idea of being controlled. But in those moments, I craved her approval more than anything. My reflection was becoming a stranger. Soft lips, where once there was stubble, long lashes framing wide eyes, the faint curve of my hips accentuated beneath sheer tights. One night, Maya forced me to try on a tight red dress, the kind I never thought I'd wear. Turn around, she commanded, eyes gleaming. I obeyed, feeling the fabric hug every inch of me. The The dress was a second skin, and suddenly I was painfully aware of how much I had changed, not just outside, but inside. I looked in the mirror, half expecting to see Arjun staring back. But there was only Arya, fragile, beautiful, and utterly vulnerable. That vulnerability was a double-edged sword. It made me feel alive, but it also terrified me. What if someone saw? What if Emma found out? What if I lost everything? And then the first real test came. Emma was supposed to be out for dinner with friends. Maya suggested I stay home. "Practice your new role," she said with that sly smile. I was alone, dressed in a silk blouse and tight skirt, heels clicking on the hardwood floor. My makeup was flawless. My hair curled just right. But the silence was deafening. Suddenly, the doorbell rang. My heart froze. Who could that be? I whispered to myself. I peeked through the peephole. It was Ravi, my colleague from work. I hadn't told him anything about my secret life. Panic surged. I had to hide, but the dress made quick movements impossible. I rushed to the bedroom, fumbling with the door. Just as I slipped in, my heel caught on the carpet, sending me sprawling to the floor. I heard footsteps approaching. Was this the end? I lay there on the floor, breath caught in my throat, as Ravi's footsteps echoed closer. My heart hammered so loud, I feared it would betray me. The soft rustle of fabric against hardwood filled the silent apartment. Was he looking for me? Seconds stretched like hours. Then a key turned in the lock.
Emma.
My blood ran cold. "Ravi? What are you doing here?" she called out, her voice sharp. Ravi's startled reply drifted through the hallway. "Just dropped off those files you asked for." Emma moved into the living room, and I seized the chance. Scrambling behind the bed, I yanked the door closed and held my breath. My pulse thundered as Emma's footsteps drew near. She paused outside the bedroom door, then moved on. I collapsed onto the bed, shaking. Maya's voice rang in my head. "You're my pretty puppet, Arya. You don't get to hide forever." The reality hit me. This wasn't just about dressing up anymore. It was about control, identity, and survival. The days following were a whirlwind of emotions. Maya's hold over me grew stronger, tightening like invisible chains I couldn't break. She insisted I wear more feminine clothes around the apartment, pushing me to perfect the persona she'd created. I caught myself staring in the mirror, tracing the curve of my lips, the arch of my eyebrows, wondering where Arjun ended and Arya began. One afternoon, Maya handed me a box. Inside, a delicate silver necklace with a tiny charm shaped like a puppet's marionette cross. "Wear this," she said, "to remind you who you are and who you belong to." The symbolism wasn't lost on me. I was her puppet, dangling from strings I couldn't see. But the external world was a battlefield too. At work, whispers started. Colleagues exchanged knowing glances. Emma's friends hinted at suspicions. I was walking a razor's edge. One slip, and everything would unravel. I wanted to tell Emma the truth. I wanted to explain this strange, thrilling, terrifying part of myself. But fear kept my lips sealed. One night, as I sat in the living room wearing a soft, lace dress Maya picked out, Emma returned early. She froze. Our eyes locked. The world stopped. "Arjun or Arya?" she whispered, her voice trembling. I had no answer. Emma's eyes locked onto me, wide with shock and something else I couldn't quite place. Confusion? Hurt? Betrayal? "Arjun or Arya?" she repeated, voice barely a whisper. I swallowed hard. The words stuck in my throat. How could I explain? How could I confess the secret I'd guarded so fiercely, the part of me I was both terrified and fascinated by? "I'm both," I finally said, my voice shaky. "It's not just a game or a phase. It's who I am, or at least a part of who I am." Emma stepped closer, eyes searching mine. "Why didn't you tell me?" "Because I was scared. Scared you'd hate me. Scared you'd leave me. Scared I'd lose the only person I truly loved." Tears pricked my eyes as I saw the flicker of pain in hers. Maya's voice echoed in my mind, dark and possessive. "You're mine now, puppet. Don't forget that." Emma's hands trembled as she reached out and touched my cheek. Not as Arjun, not as Arya, but as the person she thought she knew. Or maybe didn't know at all. I don't understand, she admitted. But I want to. Help me. That moment shattered the fragile barrier between us, opening a new battlefield filled with hope and fear. But before we could find any peace, the doorbell rang again. Maya. Her voice cold as ice when she stepped inside, eyes blazing with control. You think you can have both of us? She hissed. Emma stood firm, but I felt like a puppet pulled between two masters, my lover and my captor. The room crackled with tension. Maya took a step closer, her hand brushing the silver puppet necklace against my throat. You belong to me, she whispered fiercely. I looked at Emma, searching for salvation. Maybe, I said, voice steady now. I belong to both of you. Maya's eyes narrowed like a predator, sizing up her prey. You think this is a game? She spat, voice low and dangerous. You're mine, Arya, my pretty puppet. And puppets don't choose their masters. Emma took a step forward, fists clenched. Let him decide. He's not your plaything. For a moment, the room held its breath. Two fierce women, both fighting for a part of me, while I stood frozen between them, feeling more like a broken marionette than ever. I glanced down at the silver necklace glinting under the harsh light. That little charm had become a symbol of my struggle, a reminder that I was trapped in this battle for control, for identity, for love. Suddenly, Maya lunged, grabbing my wrist and pulling me close. You will wear what I tell you, behave how I command, and live as my puppet. My heart thundered in my chest, the weight of her words crushing. But Emma's grip tightened on my other arm, steady and warm. No, she said firmly. You're not a puppet. You're Arjun. And Arya. You're both, and you deserve to be free. The room trembled with tension as the three of us faced off, a twisted triangle of control, love, and self-discovery. Tears streamed down my face as I finally spoke the truth I'd buried deep. I don't want to be a puppet anymore. I want to choose who I am. Maya's eyes flashed dangerously. Then you'll lose everything, Emma, your so-called freedom. Emma stepped closer, voice soft but unwavering. Or you might finally find yourself. I closed my eyes and breathed deep, feeling the strings Maya had tangled around me begin to loosen. This was the moment. My moment to break free, or be pulled deeper into a life controlled by others. Suddenly, a sharp knock shattered the fragile silence. The door swung open. Ravi stood there, eyes wide with disbelief, taking in the scene. What the hell is going on here? Ravi's sudden arrival shattered the fragile world we'd built inside the apartment. His gaze flicked from Maya to Emma and finally landed on me. Arjun, or was it Arya? What's going on? Ravi demanded, voice edged with suspicion. Maya's face twisted into a sneer. Just a little disagreement. Nothing for you to worry about. Emma stepped forward, courage blazing in her eyes. Ravi, he's been hiding something from you all along. Something he's scared to share. Ravi's brow furrowed as he looked at me. Arjun? Arya? What is this? I swallowed hard, feeling the weight of all the secrets, fears, and hopes inside me. The moment to finally reveal everything had arrived, but I hesitated. The fear of judgment, rejection, and loss clawed at my chest. Then, with a trembling voice, I said, I'm both. I'm Arjun, but I'm also Arya. This is who I've been behind closed doors, and it's a part of me I can't hide anymore. Ravi blinked, shock rippling across his features. Maya scoffed, but Emma gave me a supportive smile that felt like a lifeline. Suddenly, Maya grabbed the puppet necklace from my neck and threw it to the floor. If you choose freedom, you lose me. I looked down at the broken necklace lying on the floor, the marionette charm shattered. Emma took my hand, her touch grounding me. You don't need to be anyone's puppet. You're your own person. Before I could respond, the sound of the elevator arriving upstairs jolted us all. Emma's parents, home early and unaware of the storm brewing below. Maya's eyes darkened. Your secret won't stay safe for long. We all froze as footsteps approached the door. I had to make a choice, Hide or reveal, surrender or fight. The door opens slowly. And then, what will happen next? Will Arjun's secret be exposed? Can Maya's control be broken? Will Emma stand by his side? Comment below with your predictions and what you'd do if you were in Arjun's shoes. Don't forget to like and subscribe for the next thrilling episode of I Teased Her. Now I'm her pretty puppet.